Rennie's Mill. It's one of the last legacies of the nationalist presence in Hong Kong. Its people, their livelihood and hopes. Tonight on Focus. It looks like another typical day for this ferry skipper as he tugs his way into this village pier. And in this village off Junk Bay, for most of 20,000 people living here, it's just another ordinary day in their lives. From all appearances, Rennie's Mill is just another sleepy little Chinese village off the southeast coast of Kowloon. But it isn't. It's the product of a civil war in China that altered the history of that country in 1949. This is Father Patrick Masselane. He's a Belgian priest who's lived in Rennie's Mill for more than 10 years. He knows what the place means.
This is a symbol here, a symbol of nationalists. Wherever you go in Hong Kong, when you say Rennie's Mill, and you can and say, oh yes, the nationalist place.
The men and women who came from China after 1949 came to this place. It's called Rennie's Mill. This archway behind me is the only remnant of Rennie's Mill. Rennie was an Australian who came to this place before the Second World War. He started a flour mill, and when that business went bankrupt, he killed himself. The nationalist soldiers who settled in Rennie's Mill arrived in 1950. But this outpost of a place wasn't their first choice after escaping from China. One man who knows is another Belgian priest. He's been in Rennie's Mill for more than 25 years. Like Father Masselane, Father Willie Hertekant is part of the Roman Catholic school in the village.
These people, they were originally coming out of China and they were settled somewhere in Hong Kong Island. But because they made trouble with communist-minded people in Hong Kong, so the government wanted to settle these people somewhere all together. And so they were looking out for a place. And I heard some people tell that it were 3 Jesuit fathers who knew the area here, and they advised the government that this might be a very good site because there was water and also rather isolated from the city.
When they arrived to Hong Kong, they were first resettled on Hong Kong Island, Morrison Hill and Kennedy Town, somewhere over there. But then, yeah, these were soldiers, so they were creating trouble over there with the local, they were fighting. So then the government decided it's better to resettle these people, these soldiers, to a more remote place where there might be less trouble.
The Roman Catholic school that the fathers run in Rennie's Mill teaches in Chinese. But it also has English classes. This is Cheng Kin Ping, an English teacher at the Catholic school. She was raised in Rennie's Mill, and she remembers what it was like growing up in this village.
When we washed clothes in the stream, that's the place where we, for our social gathering, we can talk and make friends there, or even we sometimes bathed just over there because we don't have water at home in the house. Or sometimes we have to carry water.
When you were 5 years old, you first came. What was the first memory that you had of Rennie's Mill?
A few stone houses, and most of them are huts. And even though I can still remember the little huts. In this way, people have to bow when they enter.
Well, when I arrived here, there were already wooden buildings. even some stone houses. It was already organized that there were parts, it was divided in sections and so. There were still a few of those tents, but they're made out of wood, but still the same form. But at that time, yes, it was still very crowded, very small paths, and so no real gutters and so on. I mean, for the sanitary problems were still very primitive.
是他们的
This is a Bible gathering in Rennie's Mill. It's a frequent social happening for these senior citizens. They don't have much to do these days. But Mr. Wang remembers very well what it was like when he first got here from China in 1950, when there was something to do, like setting up the village of Rennie's Mill. He spoke to our TVB Jade reporter, Nchi Sam, about the building up of Rennie's Mill from nothing.
舊時是冇碼頭嘅。咁點啊？點樣啲交通點樣？舊時只有一條打漁船嗰啲船仔啊，咁樣過，到觀塘咧，由嗰邊，由右手嗰邊，一到茶果嶺嘅觀塘，由左手咧，一到鯉魚門。舊時我哋都係翻山，翻山出去。翻山出去，因為搭上出去有2毫子啊嘛，嗰時候邊處有2毫子啊，行路冇問題啫。嗰時候啲條嶺啊，一片荒涼，樹都冇一棵嘅，即係結對揈啫，政府咧都有啲人咧就係嗰邊大坪個樹啊，撐咗幾個棚，係咪先燒啲茶水啊乜嘢，收尾咧都有跟住咧。